So talking about this Israel, what is the relevance to the world?
Well, Islam and Christianity both took ideas from the biblical story and related it to their own contexts. So, and they found relevance. The Christian church considers itself New Israel, and in many ways the inheritor of the Israelite story and the Israelite narrative. And in many ways, Islam also views itself as a continuer of the Israelite promise. And that's why Jerusalem is so important to both of the religions. So the question is, Jews have often, because they have belonged to both civilizations, both the East and Western civilizations, there was never really a consensus, and nor is there any need for a consensus as to a universal, or what is a Jewish position to take. So what is the relevance to the world? The relevance to the world, I feel, is in the imagery of the tabernacle, and that is the major forms of labor, of instrumentization, of toolery. The biblical story, or the Israelite story, it is told of Israel, but it is equally applicable to other nations. It just so happens that Israel wrote down its own national story about its experience with its own God and its own national redemption and its own story, and the way that it developed its own linguistic style, which would represent its imagination, and legal style, which would hold together its society and its justice systems and its view of the entire world and of the region. But that was certainly not to the exclusion of all the nations on earth. In fact, the Jewish contribution to the biblical story was to say, this is the Jewish people's story, but every nation of the world should claim its own story, and it should celebrate its own story. And yes, they may emulate, or take a few pages out of the Israelite saga, but it's really for them. And so in many ways, the Jewish vision of the world is not instead of other world ideologies. It is parallel with, and often dovetails with it. And therefore many people say that how the nations treat the Jews in their as minorities, or is somewhat of a litmus test to their own civilizational frequency. So as for a world vision, the imagery of high tech and the future that technology can bring, I think, is the meeting place for a new theology, which rallies the traditional and the old. It does not negate it; it rallies it, and it meets the great challenges of our time with passion and vision, and with duty, with almost like religious duty to find the best way forward possible. And were it to be adopted by the religions and the churches and mosques of the world, would be a great vindication of the religious ideal.